You know, I've started digging through the boxes and the tubs and all the stuff in the death pile, or the opportunity pile, as I have heard some people calling it. And I always buy these 35mm cameras, digital camera. I buy all kinds of different cameras all the time, for $1, for 50 cents, for $0.25. And this one I bought for $0.25 as well, and looked it up, and it looks like it's got some value. It's somewhere in between 30 and $100. So, you know, you just never know. I haven't found too many. You know, a couple of them I found aren't even worth selling, and I've already put those in a donate bin, but these should be worth something. So you just don't know. You pay $0.25, 50 cents, or $1 for cameras, and then you put them in a tub all year long and then pull them out. And then one camera, just one, if it hits, is going to make you a whole bunch of money. So, you know, it's worth looking at cameras and grabbing them when they're really cheap. All right, so here's another one I found, a little Pentax again, and I paid $0.25 for that one. And you just never know, you know, you find some fairly decent prices sometimes on some of these things. And so I just pick them up wherever I can and throw them in a bucket, and when I get to them, I get to them, and I usually do them all at the same time. And so far there's 2 winners, a couple that I'll make, you know, $8 to $10 on, one that I'll probably list and only make about $5 profit on, and then 2 that I have to get rid of. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Picker. My name is Kevin and we are in the eBay cave, and it is the morning time. You probably can't tell unless you can tell it in my face. Normally I do the shipping at night, but we're doing a little bit in the morning here and there. We sold some good stuff yesterday, a couple of big items that are going to go to FedEx. And I need to get to FedEx at a certain time today just to drop those things off. So a lot of times I'll get some shipping done in the morning as well. And we had enough sell last night, essentially, yesterday evening and last night, in order to make another video. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and get these things out to the post office so people aren't waiting on them forever. We had a couple things sell today that I actually did a clip on digging out of my my opportunity pile, my death pile, if you will. And I've probably already showed you that. Some cameras that I usually just buy up all year round, and I put in this one little bucket where I put all the cameras, and then at one time I'll just take all those cameras and I'll list them all at the same time, or at least most of them, unless I get distracted. That's usually how I do things, you know. That's how I eat too, you know. I get a plate of food and I eat this, and then I eat this, and then I eat this, and then I eat this. So that's what I kind of do with my death pile. I have an actual death pile of just random things, but most of the time I kind of organize what it is I'm doing. So every time I buy these things, I put them here, I put these here, I stack up my VCRs here, and then when I go to list them, I do it all at the same time. It just helps the process go a little quicker, as opposed to pulling one-offs and one-offs and one-offs. I like doing it that way. So cameras are something that I pick up just one at a time, 50 cents, $1. I just pick them up. I don't even pay attention to them half the time. And then when I get home, I'll just put them in this bucket and then I'll pull them out, and I'm pleasantly surprised sometimes. So that's what I have today, and I'm going to show you those. When I pull items and when I take pictures most of the time, I'm listening to some music, and it just reminded me of something. You know, Kenny Rogers died a few days ago, so I just thought I'd let you get a kick out of this here. Here's my current playlist. All right, there's my current playlist. And Kenny Rogers is usually in this mix somewhere. I usually have him here, or he sometimes goes back in my little cassette tape. I'm a little old school when it comes to music in the method in which I like to listen to it. And I was just curious out there if there's any cassette heads like I am. I just love listening to old cassettes. I like old music, I like new music. You know, I'll listen to anything from big bands to hair bands and everything in between. And I like some modern stuff as well. So I just wanted to ask you that question out there. What do you do when you do your listing, when you do your shipping, when you do your cleaning, when you do your packaging? What is it that you do? I have a little method. So when I'm doing pictures and when I'm pulling items, I'm usually listening to music. When I'm doing shipping, I'm either listening to music or I'm listening to a YouTube program. When I do my listing, I'm definitely listening to a YouTube program. That's typically how I do it. Or sometimes I'm upstairs with the kids and I'll try and sneak in a listing here and there. And that's what I did with those cameras the other day. I was just doing some listing and listening to some music, and I was pleasantly surprised that very quickly those things sold. So I'm happy with those sales, and I'm no expert in cameras by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like to sell them. So let me know what's on your playlist, and let me know if you're a camera seller. Do you love selling cameras? Do you never sell cameras? Is it something you want to do? Is it something you're really good at? Are you an expert at it? I am by no means an expert in cameras, but I tend to do pretty good, at least on the lower end cameras. I feel pretty comfortable with that. Some of the higher end stuff, I'm a little bit hesitant, but I'll do it if the money's right. Anyway, I just looked down and looked at my coffee here. You know, I used to start, back when nobody watched the program, I used to start every program with me sipping coffee because I did all the shows in the morning, and then when school started up, I had to go back to doing them at nighttime, and I would start the show taking a sip of coffee out of one of the different mugs we use. And my wife said, that is really cheesy. You probably shouldn't do that. So I stopped doing it. But it's morning time, and I need my coffee, and she hadn't woke up yet, so I'm going to do it, and hopefully I get away with it this time. Let's take a look at what's sold. All right, the very first item, and hopefully you can see this, if I can block out the lights here. You see the twin towers on there, and it says United We Stand. It's got American flag, and then 2 other American flag pins. I bought this at the sale. Matter of fact, I bought this at the sale that is on last Sundays when we put this one on. And so a lot of you may have seen me buy this. They were $1 in here, and I just picked them up. I was going through a giant thing of jewelry, and they were all packaged up. This is clearly a reseller, somebody who sells in an antique booth or on eBay or something. You know, I'm not really afraid to go through and look at a professional seller's booth or table or whatever it is. In that case, it was somebody who obviously is a reseller of some sort. You can still find stuff, you know. Everybody doesn't know everything, and so if you know a little bit more about one thing than somebody else, you can pull something out. Now, this is not a high profit item, but I see that kind of thing as a challenge sometimes. I'm like, there's this giant bin full of stuff that somebody, obviously, these are like the cast-offs that they're trying to liquidate and make money. They maybe pulled the good stuff out already. And I found a couple items that I thought I could resell, and this is one of them, and we listed it, and it sold really quick. This one sold. It was going to sell because I put a good price on it, and it had a couple of extra flags with it. But this one sold to a viewer because I think the viewer saw it on the video, because this sold not too long after that video posted, and they left me a little message. And this is going out to Dallas. Dallas, we appreciate it. And it sold for $10.95 free shipping. So I paid $1, $10.95. So let's just say we're into it with fees and cost of goods for $3. It's not going to be that much, but let's just say it just for the sake of doing math here. And then let's say it costs $3 to ship. Again, it probably won't be that much, but that puts us at $6, and it sold for $11. So this is a $5 profit. It's really closer to $5.50 or $6 profit, but that's all right. We'll just say it's a $5 profit. To me, that's still worth it because it took no time at all, and especially because it's going to a viewer, and I hope you enjoy this pin. And he did leave a message, and he says all kinds of nice things that are just flattering, and I don't really want to repeat him, but he did say one thing that I will repeat that I'm happy that he said. He called me a young man in this, so that's really nice. I appreciate being called a young man in this. I just told you I listened to Glenn Miller and Kenny Rogers and Gordon Lightfoot, so I'm not that young, but I hear you. So thank you so much for the kind words. Very, very generous of you, and thank you for the purchase as well, and we hope you enjoy it. All right, so here's one of those cameras, and this isn't a high-priced one. It's a Pentax, and it's got a couple little scratches up here, and it's not perfect, but the thing powered on, and it looks good. So I put it out there for a pretty competitive price, sold it out there for $30, and it got bought fairly quickly. So, you know, this had I think this one had a quarter price tag on it. You can go back, maybe you can look at the video earlier on. I can't remember how much it was, but I bet I didn't pay more than $1 at the very most for this thing. And it is going to go first class. It's not that heavy. I have the perfect box for it. It'll be protected. It comes with this little case as well. So we're going to make a nice little profit off of this, and I pick them up, like I said, all the time. 50 cents, $1. People think they're worthless, but sometimes these little 35 millimeters can make you a little bit of money. All right, I had a super shooter that wasn't working very well, unfortunately. The thing, it would go, but it didn't move really quick, and so I decided to part it out and throw away the motor piece of it. And these are part of that, and this sold for $13, so $12.90. They'll go out for under 4 ounces. Really, really easy. I paid $2 for that particular super shooter, and so just this right here is going to put us in like a $6 profit on that item, even though I paid $2 for it, and I'm going to part the rest of it out. We're going to end up making as much, if not a little bit more than selling the whole super shooter after everything sells. And some of those parts and pieces are easy sellers and some of them are really, really long tail. So I don't suggest parting out super shooters all the time. I think it's better to sell them off as one giant thing. But if you get something that doesn't work, you know, it's better than throwing it away for sure. Hey, having an Eneman going out to Pam, and Pam, we hope he brings you great luck and gets things selling out of your store again. So we appreciate it. All right, I like to show you the good and bad of reselling. So here's an example of the bad. This is one of my worst retail arbitrage purchases. Not really retail arbitrage. I bought these from the Goodwill, but I bought a ton of them. Now this is Colorado, the Colorado Buffaloes, and it's a puzzle. As you can see, it's a 500-piece puzzle, and it's brand new in the package. And if you guys, there's local resellers around here, and you go to Goodwill, you probably remember seeing these in there, and you probably were smart enough to pass them up. I passed them up for a few days, and then eventually I went back and didn't find anything that day, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to buy these things. I think I can probably make about $5 a piece, and that's what I'm making. So I'm making a little bit more than $5, probably closer to $5.50 on this. And I bought like 30 of them. I bought Colorado, Arizona, got the Wildcats in here, and Utah. So, and actually I think I bought a Pitt. I think I have the Pitt Panthers upstairs as well, if I remember. Now I can't remember exactly how many I bought, 25, 30, something like that. And I will make $5.50. And I will make $5.50 a piece on them eventually. The reason that kind of put me over the top for buying them is that these are going to ship first class. Now, they're not going to be perfectly protected. I might put one thing of bubble wrap around it, slip it in a poly bag, and ship it. And they're going to be okay. I mean, it's a solid box. It's not going to get crushed. But that's what put me over the top, because I'm selling them for $13.88. That's what this one sold for anyway. I imagine the other ones are probably pretty close. They're all stadiums. I figured, you know, somebody's going to buy this, put the puzzle together, frame it, and they'll have a nice little picture to put in their man cave or whatever. Well, I've sold 4, I think, total out of the 25 or 30, and it's been over a year. So this is a bad buy. If you've been watching this show for a while, you've probably only seen me sell one of these in the time I've been doing YouTube. So, you know, the good and the bad sometimes when you do retail arbitrage. I don't know, can you consider that retail arbitrage, buying a bunch of new things from Goodwill? Probably not, but it certainly isn't retail prices, definitely. So, and incidentally, you know, how in the world did these things get out here? All these are West Coast schools with the exception of Pitt. So I'm wondering how in the world they all got out here to Goodwills in Southwest Virginia. So I think that's interesting. And they were at like every Goodwill, and it was nuts. But 99 cents, and like I said, I'm going to make about $5 on them. You know, I hear a lot of people out there selling board games and puzzles and video games. So you know it's a really bad buy when it takes a global crisis like this in order to sell a puzzle like that. All right, here is another camera. This is an Olympus Stylus Epic Zoom 80. And it slides open like that. It's in pretty darn good shape, I have to say. It also comes with a case. And this one sold for $40 plus shipping. $40 plus shipping. And I think I probably paid in between $0.25 and $1 for this one as well. So I think this one was also on the beginning part of the video, but I'm not sure. You know, I don't often pick up Vera Bradley because there's not a ton of money in it, and sometimes it's long tail. But what we do have has been selling fairly decently in the last month. I'm not quite sure why. This is an interesting one. It sold for a pretty decent amount considering we paid $1 for it. It sold for $10 plus shipping. So it's going to be a nice little, say, $8 profit on that item. Maybe a little less, $7.50. But the shipping is going to make us a little bit of money back as well. So this one is for a mini tablet, an iPad mini tablet. So I don't know. I like the colors. My wife listed it. I forgot we even had it. I stuck it over here in my little bucket that we use for these kind of things. For purses, for wallets, and sometimes for some clothing that doesn't hang up well. So I like that one. And that one is a sale from Blue Ridge Mama. All right, we have an Eneman sale, and I don't think this one, believe it or not, is going out to a viewer, but just in case, I'm going to say thank you to Josh. Josh, we appreciate it very much. All right, we also sold some mousetrap replacement steel balls. and we sell those every once in a while, but I'm not going to pull them out. You see me pull them out all the time. And we had a nice little gift sent to us in the mail, so I can't wait to go open this one and see. I have a feeling it's got a couple things in it. It's a bigger box, so it's not just license plates, but I have a feeling there's some license plates in there too, and we need a few more for our bins in there for our little custom SKU system, so I'm excited to see what kind of plates are in there, and we're going to put them on. Maybe we'll put them on in the video. If not, we'll put it on there tomorrow. So we appreciate y'all for coming. As always, we hope y'all are doing well, staying healthy, and getting through your opportunity piles out there. And above all else, spending a little bit of time with family. And if you're not with family, feel free to join in. Send me an Instagram, send me a message, and I'll be happy to reply. One little thing I did want to say, I'm really bad at getting back to messages on Facebook. So if you send me a message to Commonwealth Picker at Facebook, it's usually not going to be something I get to. I don't know, it's just one of those things I don't normally do. Instagram is easy for me. I usually get back to some of those fairly quickly, and I can get back to my email maybe once or twice a week. But the easiest way, of course, is to leave a comment below. So, as always, thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. All right, we had an awesome gift here, and I just wanted, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll put it on camera for a second, and y'all can read it. It's a really nice message from Matt. I didn't bring my kids out here because of the name of this one, jackassretro.com. So there's some stickers. He even gave us a magnet. Where's the magnet? Here's the magnet. That is really nice, and we'll put this card up over here. I like this treasure rehoming services. That's pretty unique. I like that. It's from Washington State. So I lived in Oregon for a little while. Actually, I never really lived there full time. I was living in California my junior and senior year of high school. My parents had moved at that point, and I actually stayed down. I spent, all the summers up there and all the breaks and stuff. But Washington State. So I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear? I'm going to be quiet for a minute. This building has a metal roof, and it is raining. Can y'all hear that? Is that not appropriate for license plates from Washington? At any rate, and he says, stay safe over here, and we certainly hope y'all stay safe up there in Washington. And we appreciate it, and we appreciate those license plates too. We are going to put them, look, I've even got some tubs right there. So we're going to put them on one of those. We'll put one of them on one of those anyways. I did not have one from Washington. So he has a YouTube channel, y'all. So I have not checked it out yet, though, but I'm going to go in right now and check it out. Maybe I can get to know you a little bit as you already know us. So thanks for all the kind words in your message, and you'll be seeing that up in here for a while. Thanks. Look, y'all, I neglected to show you what was on the outside. So, yes, I listened to Glenn Miller. And I don't know. I'm assuming the record's in here. I don't know. I didn't check it out, but this is funny. Why do you judge me as a musician, John? All I'm interested in is making money. Glenn Miller. That's awesome. So I love Glenn Miller. Thanks so much.